Welcome to Go Mustang Sports as we recap the women's volleyball season for 2013. I'm Dave McHugh, joined by Coach Dave Trumbo. And Coach, we talked at the beginning of the season, and obviously there were some high expectations for a team that had done very well in 2012. You seem to have exceeded those expectations, especially in the win and loss column.
Well, we did really exceed expectations in how well we performed this year, Dave. Going to be able to get to the Sweet 16 and then losing the regional finals, with that trip to Michigan, we were all ready.
Yeah.
our bags were packed.
Yeah.
When we kind of told one of the kids asked, well, if we win, when will we leave? And we go on Tuesday. They're going, oh my gosh, Tuesday. Yeah. So yeah, it's a really quick turnaround because Hope being a Christian school, they don't play on Sunday.
Right,
so it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday kind of deal. We'd fly it on Tuesday, practice on Wednesday, play on Thursday. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. That was the ultimate goal, is to get to the Elite Eight, and we just got so close this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, let's talk about the end of the season. You have a come-from-behind victory against Juniata. Really, you came from behind twice in that, and then held on in the fifth set to win that. Huge win for you guys to beat what is really a regional power in Division III, and even national. That had to be a pretty good feeling, but then of course you run into Eastern in the next game, your arch nemesis, for lack of a better description. Was there, in that last game, was it just the emotions of the previous game kind of got to you guys, a little worn out, or was it just that Eastern was that good a team?
I really have to give credit to Eastern. The first two sets, they were really good. They just passed us so well. They stayed in their offense because they passed so well. We really didn't know who they were going to set, which allowed only single blocking. By the third set, we started to make a couple plays, and we passed. Statistically, when we keep how well we pass better than we had all weekend. Yeah. But defensively, they're really good. So if we don't put the ball down, they will turn it around on us really quick and put the ball down against us.
How important was it just to get to the regional championship, the Sweet 16? How important was that for this program?
Going back, it was just such a double bonus. Everything just set up the perfect for us is the fact that we got to play Salisbury first round. We've been talking about all year. I was saying to the kids all year, I said, well, Salisbury's not on our schedule, but believe me, we're going to see them in the NCAA, and doggone it, they were
there they are, right there.
Right there, and 0-17 against them in our history. And not personally, I can't take credit for all 17, but I was about 0-7 or 0-8. So being able to beat them really handily 3-0 was huge. And then that kind of built our confidence. Got that first win in the NCAA, and then went up against Juniata, who beat us the first game. We didn't play particularly well, and we were losing 17-9 in that second set. And then all of a sudden, it just turned. And we got hot and played with so much emotion and so much enthusiasm. I think it was almost overwhelming that they didn't expect that out of us. I love playing Juniata, the fact they'd never seen us play. I think a lot of people doubted the fact, are you really as good as your record indicates? The assistant tournament director was Susquehanna's coach, who we beat 3-0. Yeah. He was telling people they are as good as they say they are. I'm not sure that everybody else really believed it. And then to come back and respond in that fifth game when we were up 11-8 and then down 12 at 12-11 and then respond and be able to close it out. I think kind of everybody just sat there with their mouth open because it was a Juniata partisan crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going nuts. They had just made a couple of big blocks and they're going crazy, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's over. And we have a girl that comes in, off the bench, had hit 3 swings before that, or 4 swing of the game, puts the game winner down for probably the most important
point. It's like you drew it up.
Yeah, and she all year we've been going back and forth between Jenna and Kristen outside, and it turned out to be Jenna, in the finals when Kristen played a phenomenal match to that point.
Let's back it up even more. You once again rolled through the conference, undefeated, you're 18-0. Only dropped 1 set, if memory serves. I could be wrong, but that was earlier in the season. Right. And so in all of your 18 matches, you've dropped a set. You certainly are the one everyone's staring at in the Commonwealth. I'd love to knock you off. But at the same time, is that success maybe what the Juniatas or the other teams that haven't faced you, they don't appreciate, they don't understand that you're really that good because it's been so easy in the Commonwealth somewhat?
Yeah, I think so. They look at our schedule and say, what national power have you beaten?
Yeah.
Okay, you played Eastern, but you lost. You played Christopher Newport. It was
lost,
5-3-2, but you lost. So they're and rightly so. They're thinking, well, how good are you really? And when you really don't have any real significant wins on your schedule, the Commonwealth is tough, but it's not the Juniatas and the Easterns and the Christopher Newports of the East Coast.
Well, and the interesting thing about the season, you guys went a long way without taking a loss. You finally took one against Eastern, and then you lost the second to last game against Christopher Newport. So only 2 losses heading into the tournament. At some point, did it just feel like everything was just clicking in the right way for you guys?
Well, really, in October after that Eastern match, and even leading up to the Eastern match, we weren't playing that well. I think the Eastern match really got us a chance to get their attention, say, look, I think the players tend to think, we're winning all our games. What are you guys whining about? You're complaining about this, you're complaining about that, and we're winning. Well, we lost to Eastern, and we as coaches have watched that tape many times. Okay, what do we need to improve, to get better? And then I thought the Christopher Newport loss, although I thought we played pretty well, we could have played a lot better. We probably should have won that match. Was probably the best thing that could have happened to us, and say, okay, this is how hard and how much emotion you have to play with to beat a big-time team.
When you look at your schedule, some people, the rankings and stuff say they don't play enough of the good teams. You did have Eastern, you did have Christopher Newport, you have others. How's it look for next year? How's it look beyond? Are you starting to get those challenging teams because now they actually do want to play it?
First, let's almost look back at this year's schedule, and of the people that were in the NCAA tournament, there was 8 of us, so you can't count us. So that's 7 teams. We played 5 of them during the season. So yeah, our schedule was tough.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that we met expectations.
Right.
Now, the second part of that question is, yes, people do want to play us now. Especially the people that are barely below us, they want to play a nationally ranked team. So I'm not having trouble filling my schedule like I was before. And yes, the schedule's even tougher next year. First off, I expected Hopkins to be better this past year, and things didn't work out for them. I know they're going to be good next year, and we've got them on our schedule twice. We also have Eastern on our schedule twice. We're going out to Juniata to play them. That last weekend in October, we've got Eastern and Juniata same weekend.
I was going to say, Juniata has circled that date, whether it has come out yet or not. That date has been circled by there too.
Absolutely, and of course we had that scheduled before we went out there. We have Franklin and Marshall on our schedule, who won the Centennial Conference but lost in their tournament. We've had Stevenson Tech, who is ranked in the North, in the New York region. So they're like second ranked, and this year we were ranked 3rd in our region. So we have a much tougher schedule. As we continue to build our program, we can't go from here to here. Right. It's a little bit at a time, and now people do want to play us.
Of course, building your program, you're going to lose a good core of players off of this squad who really have helped you get to this point. Tell us about them and how you're going to hopefully replace them.
Well, our success has helped us, I think, in recruiting, but at the same time, we're losing our All-American setter, 3-time All-American Jess Geiselman, who is just a phenomenal player, and I think that almost we started to take her for granted, that we expected the ball to be right there every time, and she's not perfect. So if it wasn't, we're like, what's wrong with Jess? She's not playing good today. And she led the nation in assists, which is a testament to her, but also a testament to our hitters and our passers.
Absolutely.
Because it's such a team game. And then losing Christine Eisenberg, who really only played 3 years. She didn't play her first year. She thought she needed to take a year off. And so she's going to get a job as a nurse. We're not going to get her back. Theoretically, she could play that next year.
She's
We're
got
not
other
have
expectations,
her. Yeah, so unfortunately, she's doing well, and hopefully she's going to get a job where she's doing her internship right now at Johns Hopkins in nursing. And she was our number 1 outside. She was another All-American this year, so we're losing 2 All-Americans. The third senior we're losing is Jenna Campbell. Jenna, also a transfer, didn't play her sophomore year. She could play again, but I'm just thinking it's not going to happen. She had a lot of injuries this year. I think in her mind, she thought she'd be finished school, and I think she's going to have like 3 credits left. So we're not dependent on Jenna. It would be a bonus, of course, if Jenna would come back, because she's one of our primary passers and plays in the front row. So we're losing 3 key players. But on the other side of the coin is, I can now recruit saying, we're losing 2 outsides. Do you want to compete for a national title? I mean, that's what you're going to do if you come here. Do you want to be in that excitement? Because we were able to, with all the games streamed, people were able to watch that Juniata game. They saw us play. What a great sales tool for us to come and join our program.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you mentioned two students who have the eligibility to come back, but of course the student athlete in Division III, the student really
Right.
drives it more than anything. So a successful season. You really improved on last year. You got further in the NCAA tournament, and of course you had more wins, less losses. Everything looking good for the program. We're certainly looking forward to seeing you guys down the road. But if there's anybody who's watching now, what would you say, looking at 2014 about your squad? Even though it's early, obviously we're just recovering from the season, and you got to have your recruits come in and all that. But what would you say to fans and others about the 2014 season?
Well, we're going to be exciting. You know, we have some phenomenal athletes. And to tell you the truth, Dave, when I look across the gym and I look at Eastern and I look at Christopher Newport, I look at Juniana, I said, this is the level of kid that we have to recruit. You know, so what I say is, watch us go, because these kids believe and they are ready to work in the off-season strength and conditioning, and success feeds success. And there's nothing in their minds that says it's just because we're really looking for a setter to replace Jess. Even we have Sarah. Sarah's 5'2". We're going to need a couple more setters in our program. We need a couple outsides in our program, even though Kristen Brooks did a phenomenal job this year. So I always have a saying: you never have enough good players. And the girls on our team have fun. I think Division II, Division III, Division I, it always, athletics has got to be fun. It's got to have that component in it, and we do have fun here.
Of course, depth was a key this year. Certainly want to keep that depth alive with your program.
Oh, absolutely. We had at our second middle position with Kelly McKenzie and Kelsey Stay. We had back and forth all year, so both of them had significant big-time experience, as did Jenna Campbell and Kristen Brooks. So we're building that depth into it so that these kids are coming back with experience. Although we might be losing a couple kids, we've got kids here with experience. We'll return Amani Hudson, who was first-team all-conference, Meg Miller, first-team all-conference, honorable mention all-region, and then, of course, Sammy Perillo. Will return after 2 years of being All-American and All-Region, and back to lead us again for one more year.
Heck of a libero and a heck of a server.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Good player to have. So the team will look to continue undefeated in 2014 in the MAC Commonwealth and maybe take that next step to get to a championship weekend in women's volleyball. Congratulations on the terrific season for Dave Trumbo and Dave McHugh. We'll keep track of them throughout the offseason, and, of course, we'll talk to them again next year.